Hey, what's up? It's Rashad. It's your friend of fam, Antonio, and we are back. A special Upon for You podcast, Transformers, Rise of the Beast. All spoilers, guys. As
Yeah.
you already know, me and Antonio grew up on some Transformers because we haven't talked about this at all. I really feel like Antonio probably liked this way more than I did.
This is what I'll say about the movie. I liked it for what it was.
Okay, that's
You know what
fair.
I'm saying? And that's how I approach most movies, except for movies I expect something from. You know what I'm saying? If like movies like Transformers, especially, the Michael Bay formers or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just like them for what they are. Something that's pretty fun and we'll see where we're going with it. No big deal. The thing appreciate most, I'll just say this about, I guess you could say, the rebooted Transformer universe, because this is an actual sequel to the Bumblebee movie or
Which
whatever.
was a really
Really
good
good, Will.
movie. You know what I'm saying?
The one thing I like most about both of these movies are, number one, they giving me G1 Transformers. They're giving me
Mm-hmm.
how the G1 Transformers look for the most part. And then number two, unlike the Michael Bayverse movies or whatever, and these two movies focus more on the actual Transformers than the human characters.
Very true.
Than the human character. The other
Very
movies were
true.
always like, the Transformer, yeah, this is the Transformers. We give you the cool, we give you people, Hey, we're gonna give you Peter Cullen, the voice of, what I'm saying, Optimus Prime. But the movie's about Tyrese and his army dudes, and Shia LaBeouf and Marky Mark, and like, though they were the main focus of the movies and not the actual Transformers. But I think it's like always been like, the Transformers have personalities. You know what I'm saying? You can base a movie off of them, and these last two movies, they have been based off of the Transformers.
Definitely. I can definitely respect that take.
Mm-hmm.
Um like for me, like it was cool. There was some
Yeah.
stuff that I know probably because I didn't really get into deep into the Transformers lore like after the
Mm-hmm.
fact. Like some of the Beast Wars stuff and some of
Mm-hmm.
the other, more current versions of Transformers. But I did like it. What I liked about it most of was it was a plot that made semi made sense. I was very, you know what? I was very surprised that they pulled out like the big guns with this one. I was really surprised. I'm like, yo, they really going forward on like basically the second one. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like my question was like, where, like, how are we gonna go? Like, where are we gonna go, and how are we gonna go come back from this?
Okay. Let's talk about, what I'm saying, what we talking about, the big gun here. My man, they had Unicron in this thing. And let me just say this. What was that Transformers they did? I think the last Michael Bay one, or maybe it wasn't a Michael Bay one, but it was based off of Michael Bay one, the one when it was like, Unicron was Earth or something like that.
You talking about the last one that had like then it was like the last was it like the last night?
Oh yeah, something like that. Yeah, they had, I think, Charlie Theron as like the quintessons of whatever, like
Yo,
that.
I
That was a
didn't watch it.
I did, it was bad. Anyway, so they tried to make it like Unicron was
John
inside
Connor
Earth.
in that?
I think Sean Connery was in that or
That's
whatever.
crazy, crazy
Yeah.
time.
But yo, let me tell you, man, they had Unicron in this. It took me back to being a 5-year-old kid when Transformers, the animated movie, first came out, and they made him look like Unicron. How Unicron looked, that first opening scene in Transformers animated series, where you see Unicron as the planet coming, what I'm saying, with the halo ring around it. I was like, oh snap, they made him look like Unicron. Also, shout out to Coleman Domingo, who did the voice of Unicron. Big shoes to fill, considering original voice was Orson Welles. That was actually his last acting role when he was Unicron in the 85 animated movie, but he did a good job of that. But to see Unicron and them to bring Unicron into the forefront like this early, considering what they're trying to do, it seems like they're trying to do with the series and I'll give you the verse, Hasbro verse or whatever that they're
Yeah.
trying to come together with. But yeah, man, they went for it, and I like I said, I like it for what it was.
And like to me, like what I appreciate about Unicron was Unicron, it made sense. Like
Mm-hmm.
even the MacGuffin made sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And just for a scene like showing like the planet that had the Maximals on it and how like Scourge straight murked that man.
Yo, yo. Hold on. Did y'all see how horrified they were that Scourge was coming though?
Oh man,
That
they knew him by name. So yo,
yo,
Scourge is here. It's like,
there was
oh.
like, oh, but yo, Scourge was such a daggone a menace. My man, every transformer he killed, he took their insignia and as a badge of honor. And here's the thing: it won't just Autobots. It was a Decepticons insignia.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. He just had he didn't care. He was saying
didn't care.
anybody's saying.
My man was trying to be the Boy Scouts. My man had like all the patches and everything for it. Their whole thing was like, his whole thing was like for Unicron to, be able to, go across the other side of the universe anytime in the space-time continuum. So Unicron can feed, because Unicron, like, that's his whole thing. He was hungry. He was like, yo, man, you need to give me, places to eat and feed. So one thing someone told me, they said they was confused about was when Optimus Primal basically was like, told Optimus Prime, like, yeah, I'm your descendant, but from the past and future all at the same time.
Yeah.
And some people could have been confused about that. Let me explain just a little bit. That is actually canon from the actual Beast Wars TV show. And even canon, and it ties into the G1 Transformers that me and Rashad saw as kids growing up. On the G1 episode, first episode, you saw the Autobots escaping Cybertron within their ship, the golden ship, which was known as the Ark. We didn't know that was the name of it until Beast Wars. They was being chased by Megatron in his ship, the Nemesis, which got the name during that. Basically, they lay dormant on Earth for millions of years, like millions, like all the way back to prehistoric time or whatever. The Maximals are actually like the future descendants of those Transformers, of the original Transformers. In the show, they actually went into a time slip, went back in time, and they was on Earth during prehistoric time. And they actually was like, they didn't know they was on Earth. They like knew, but not really. But then when they saw the Ark, they was like, oh snap, yo, we're here. Like this is where it all began, like that.
Yeah.
And they went to the Ark and they saw like Prime, Ironhide, all of the OG Transformers like laid out, even the Decepticons that was there. Remember, they had a big battle on the Ark and it crashed into the side of that volcano. So they saw that. So that's where he's trying to say, that's where that tie-in is, where he's like, yo, we're from the future, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're from the future. We're your thing, but we've been here for a long time as well, because you saw that with the Peruvian tribes and everything they were dealing with, that has been protecting the MacGuffin of this movie the entire like for millions of years.
As you were talking, thank you for the lore. Mm-hmm. I just figured out what I didn't like about this movie. And it's gonna sound horrible.
Oh, here we go.
What's the main character's name again?
Noah Diaz.
Noah's little brother. Like he was, yo, and I don't even blame him, yo. And I know this is how they directed him, what they told him to do, probably. But yo, they gave him some of the corniest lines. They also gave him some of the corniest ways to say these lines too. He just was like so. Okay, so when he realized that we jumping around because that's how we do. Your boy is outside the window talking to Mirage. His little brother sees Mirage, right? And he's like just not even surprised, not shocked, just very like, yo, I'm from Brooklyn, yo. I'm like, so what? Yo, like
but you gotta think too, Rashad. This set was set in '94. That is so New York, though.
I get it. I'm gonna get to that in a minute too, because that was Anyway, but yeah, like hit like that part of it for me, like
Yeah,
it,
that
like
was
every time he came on screen, like it took me out of it. Like, oh my god, yo, this kid, man, we gotta direct these kids a little bit better. Oh, and shout out to 2 weeks in a row, Lauren Velez,
right. I mean,
the number
no
one
one movie 2 weeks.
the number one Spanish mom out here,
Right
boy.
there. I know. Salute you, Lauren.
Yes,
Got to do
man.
your undercover days.
Shout out. Wait to see you getting that money again. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, yo, that part for me was like, okay. Respect to Sylvie in Weekway because he really low key pulled off a New York accent, and he is very country.
My man is from Houston,
He is
Texas.
very country. You know what I'm saying? So like, respect to him for that. Like, I liked his role. He I didn't know he was gonna be in the movie that much too. You know what I'm saying? They gave him like a legit role.
I sent you the interview that my guy at my station did with him. I believe an interview. Like the guy was saying that like he was slated to have a minor, little small part and be with the the soundtrack, the theme song for the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Because this is the first theme song for a Transformers movie since Linkin Park's from the original, What I've Done or whatever, which was no, seriously, like this is the first
Wow, I didn't realize that, yo.
Yeah, this is the first soundtrack theme song for one of the Transformers movie since the very first one with Linkin Park, What I've Done, which is very good, by the way.
05?
Yeah, like 05. Yeah. It's it's Toby and Nas that did it. And so like they liked it so much, and he even directed the video for it. They liked his personality. They was like, hey man, you know what? We're gonna give you some more parts. So they gave him some more parts in the movie.
You know what's crazy too? I saw like another interview with him. He said like he didn't know nothing about accident, nothing. So when he went to basically when they approached him, they said, "Hey, we want you to read these lines, and we want you to send it back to us because it was still like mid COVID." Tell me why your man did these lines on his iPhone and just sent it back. It was like, nah, man, we need like a real read. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do like a Zoom, so set up like, nah, we need a real read. Like it was funny, yo.
I appreciate the realness of it though.
Nah, it was so real. He's like, man, I made a voice note and sent it back to him.
He probably a voice. He probably said a voice note. Hey, Fat, hold the phone right here. I'm gonna read this, Fat. If you don't know, Fat is his wife that she performs too, and they're with each other a whole lot, man. But yeah, that's
funny, man. But yeah, so he did a really, for his like little acting debut, did a decent job, yo. Another thing that I noticed too that I liked, but eventually took me out of it. And that was just how heavy they were leaning into the 1994 of it all. It was very mid-90s, you know what I'm saying? And I respect that.
My man had a Carl Kanai.
He had a Carl Kanai jeans. You know what I'm saying?
My man had the Jordan tank top. Remember the neon Jordan tank? And that's so funny that
his little brother had the Jordan 7 shirt that that Jordan had the short set when he was in Olympics. You know what I'm saying? He had that joint on. It was a lot of things, but there was a couple.
There's a Carmine's on. Yeah, the Carmine's.
Yeah, do the Carmine's on. So yeah, that's a 92 sneaker. Okay, yeah. That adds up. But then we had some real weird anachronisms. Anachronisms is a fancy word to say things that don't belong in that time. Okay. For one, some musical choices like we was doing really well. You know what I'm saying? Then your girl starts singing Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls. I'm like, dog, that's like 96 or 95.
That's like 95, 96.
Yeah. And then there was some other songs that, of course, the Biggie song just in general, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's on Life After Death. I said that did not come out in 94. And then some
right. They were hitting it with the woo though.
Oh yeah. It was all 36 chambers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I respect all of that.
And the posters in the room were accurate as well because they had the SWV. The SWV poster.
That's the 92 poster.
Yeah, and they had like Ready to Die. And then they also, of course, the Wu-Tang symbol poster in there. There was a picture of Nas he had up in there too. So.
Yeah. Some of that stuff was on point. Some of the stuff was just like, we just wanted in here because we like the song. When they could have just easily picked a song from 94. But anyway, But yeah, that's just me being an old curmudgeon man. I'm sorry.
And then
Like it just
we were in high school during that part, so we know the music in the
it
years,
definitely,
man.
yeah. 94 was my 94, yes, freshman year, 94, 95. Yeah, definitely. Definitely in high school. So yeah, I was like keen on it. So all right, let's talk about some good stuff. What I liked most about this has to be kind of like the point of it. Like the point of the plot, like I said earlier, like it really just made sense. Like we have I forgot what the MacGuffin was called. You know what I'm saying? It's some weird name. It doesn't matter. They needed it for Unicron because they wanted jump time and space, which is also think about it now, crazy. Your man can go into any part of time. So he just eating all the time. You know what I'm saying? If he can just go he eat the same planet over and over.
Transwarp key.
Transwarp key. Yeah, he can eat planets over and over and over again if he wants to, because it's space and time.
Right.
That's like kind of like, oh, that's crazy. Just imagine you eating every day because you just go back into it's a groundhog day. Not again. Yeah, so that was cool. They broke the key. The Maximals was smart, broke the key in half. You know what I'm saying? And so it actually made the movie longer because we got to find both parts. The action set pieces. The action set pieces for this are really good. Think about the first scene when he was in New York. It was dark outside, but you could see. That is a very underrated thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, because movies be dark and be grainy and you can't see nothing. It's annoying to watch, but like they made it so there's gonna be enough light, this ambient light. They're gonna have explosions and stuff is gonna like be shimmering off of the actual Transformers because they're metallic. They made very smart decisions with that.
One thing I can say about all of the Transformer movies, even the Bayverse movies, the transformations that they make for the actual Transformers have always been very good, as in each piece having, you know what I'm saying, each piece having a place and doing it. It's just not like, oh, bang, 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 we're a robot. No, you actually saw gears and stuff moving to become joints and all of that, man. And that's just little subtleties that I like it. Even the fact that you could tell that some of these guys have been in battles when they're in robot mode. They got like scarring and scrapes and stuff on their armor. One thing one thing I am kind of sick of, and I thought when the Bumblebee movie came out, they were going to retcon this. The whole Bumblebee can't talk and he's using radio, using the radio to speak. We got to stop this. Like,
not even that, but like, yo, I was like, man, they killed Bumblebee again.
yeah, it's like, yeah, it's like we need to tug at their heartstrings. Well, we got a little kid who got sickle cell and he can't get. Yeah, no one really cares about that kid. No, you know what? Let's murk Bumblebee one more time. And God Almighty, did he get murked? That was,
Skirt. Like I love how Scourge was just straight grabbing people with one hand and then just point blank cannon blasting them with the other. I was like, dang, such a harsh way to go out.
A lot of these death scenes were very graphic and very like brutal death scenes. The way that Primal, when he was in maximize mode and he took my man's like cannon bomb arm and like just smashed him and beat him, and Optimus Prime was like, hey man, that was mine, that was my kill, and he was like, yeah, whatever, I got him. I mean, these like fights and these kill scenes with the Autobots and the Terracons were very brutal, and not you like we've seen some wild ones before, but these janks was, even Optimus Prime was fighting dirty. My man threw lava in my man's face just to get him off of him.
That was funny.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm like, thank you that we're not making Optimus so
this moral compass,
so self-righteous that he's like, like, yo, he's like, yo, I'm trying to go home. You gotta wait to get home. Why'd you bring this human here?
Yeah.
Basically, like he want to kill your boy, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's crazy because it's like we've all known Optimus be like, the humans, they are so, we love the humans. This is their planet. We are here to protect the humans. My man was like, yo, what you bring this little thing here for, man?
And that's really good because
Mm-hmm.
that made basically us realize that this isn't like the Optimus that we're all used to. He has to
Mm-hmm.
actually do some
He
character,
Right.
some
He
character
grew
building.
into
Yeah,
understanding
yeah,
why,
yeah.
because he was like, he told Primal when Primal was like, yo, this is the last of the tribe that was, helping protect, saying the other piece of thing, and they help protect us and stuff, and we protect them. And he was like, yo, you Prime was like, yo, you trust these humans to do this or whatever? And Prime was like, yeah, man, like they pretty, if you get to know them, they're actually pretty cool, man, for the most part. You know what I'm saying? You get to know they're actually pretty cool and everything, man. We look out for each other. Like this, their planet. Our planet is gone, so this is our planet now too. And Prime was like, I don't know about that, but we'll see. And he ended up, kind of like, growing an affinity for the Transformers. Let's talk about for the most part the Transformers that we could talk about. So we know about, of course, Bumblebee is Bumblebee. Kids love Bumblebee. I thought it was hilarious when he, like I said, we do spoilers here, that he came back to life. And he was like the one that kind of saved the day a little bit when, said help.
He low
And
key
they,
did.
and they came back with LL. Don't call it a comeback. I was like, let's go. I appreciate it. It was corny, but I appreciate
Hella
it.
corny, yo.
It was hella corny.
Like,
It was hella
at
corny.
that point, I was like,
it was hella corny, but it was cute. It was cute or whatever. So but and Bumblebee really wasn't a big part of the movie in itself, except for in the beginning and this
when
right here.
when he got murked.
When he got murked, and when he came back. Prime, Optimus Prime was, you saw an arc for him growing. Like I said, we just talked about growing from, not trusting humans and like, hey man, I just want to go home. He blamed himself for why they're stuck here and why they've lost some of the, Autobots that they've lost and all that stuff. And he feels like he abandoned the fight in Cybertron.
Also, also, I was like, yo, Optimus Prime be getting his behind whoops and like every daggone Transformers movie.
Hey man, hey Rashad, while you playing, let's go back to the cartoons as kids, man.
Yo, they don't.
He's been getting washed. He's been getting washed ever since at G1, I think episode 2, the damn scene. Remember the damn scene where him and Megatron was fighting? They hit the axe and Megatron was like bop bop bop, and then in the movie he got killed. People want to say it was Hot Rod fault. Like, yeah, Hot Rod had a problem with that, but Prime was getting his ass whipped too as well.
Every time, yo, like for him to be the leader, man, he's right. Not really representing well.
For him to be a Prime, because apparently the Prime, you're like the top of the Autobot chain. Remember my skirts? It was like, yo, you call yourself a Prime? Call yourself a Prime? Like, get out of here, bro. So, whatever, Optimus Prime. And then you go into the other, you get into some of the other Autobots. Pete Davidson actually did a pretty good job as Mirage. Really good job.
That's my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah. Really good job as Mirage.
Was Mirage, man. Pete Davidson, man. Good
job. Yeah, I like Pete Davidson, but I don't like him at the same time. So, if that makes sense.
No, it totally makes sense.
It makes sense. And, he actually did a great job playing the character of, Mirage. And Mirage was basically like a young teenage, maybe 20-year-old dude, just like, Noah was. He's like, hey, man, he been having me sit there in that Porsche mode for like all these weeks, man. I'm glad I got to move out. And so, he was pretty cool. RC in robot mode looked fantastic. She looked just like how she looked in the G1 series in the
really good.
in the mode. I can understand why they didn't make her like the Cybertronian type car because she's on Earth, so they had her as a motorcycle. Not bad or whatever. Who was the other was there another Autobot? Oh, Wheeljack was hilarious to me because it reminded me, Rashad, of last week with Spider-Verse. Hey, K Possum! He started talking he started talking to Miguel. He started when Miles started talking to Miguel in Spanish and stuff, and then Noah sees him like, hey, see, and he was like, what? And he was like, I mean, I just,
I assume because you sound like, he's like,
he said, hey man, that's kind of racist. And then Noah was like, how's that racist? He's a robot. What are we talking about? He was like, how is that racist? He's just a robot. So and the fact they made Wheeljack into like a VW van, like the Ninja Turtle van, but it was just
Yeah,
Peach,
it's like a VW bus.
a VW bus or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you get to the Maximals, um, they looked great too with the whole combination of like fur and looking like a real animal, but the mechanical.
Like,
Yeah. So
what was the like the eagle, the eagles or the pterodactyl? Was it the bird one?
oh yeah, Air Razor.
Yeah, Air Razor.
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh. Like I just love her voice.
Yeah.
This is so like it's very commanding yet calming at the same time. Yeah, so like she did a real good job with that. They had the tiger didn't get a whole lot of play.
Yeah, I'm surprised because Cheetor in the cartoon is kind of like the Bumblebee of the young one, and then Rhinox didn't get a whole lot of speaking roles. But he was wrecking shop though he was wrecking shop, but he didn't get a lot of talking time. With the Maximals, it was mainly Air Razor and Optimus Primal, Optimal Primal, whatever doing it. So yeah, long story short, they're able to, stop not Megatron, but also too no Megatron. This was in neither movie so far. So I'm waiting.
And I'm glad.
Yeah.
So we might
Yeah. And some people saying, well, why didn't they grab Galvatron? Like people forget, like even in the cartoon, in the movie, Scourge was one of the original, followers of Unicron, because I think Scourge became Scourge from the scraps of Skywarp or Thundercracker, one of the flight, the F-15s back in the day.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. And also another thing I liked about Unicron. Remember when they were talking to Unicron and you can see basically the inside of him is just like a bunch of different other like places and locations inside of himself, because they were sitting down and looked just like it was like an old car, like a street, like the design for Unicron inside of Unicron was.
And
like,
you can see his eyes, like just
yeah. They made him sort of anthropomorphic, you know what I'm saying, in the sense that, so we can have a good representation of
and a lot of people may not know Unicron is like I guess you can say the demon of the Transformers, the devil of the transforming universe. Like it was something like I was glad that when Primal was like, hey man, Unicron tried to get in. Optimus Prime was like, well, Unicron, like, oh, like that's how shook people are of Unicron. Like,
you know who Unicron is?
Debo.
Omar.
Oh, Unicron coming. Omar coming. So now Unicron sitting there whistling the farm in the dam. Oh, Unicron coming. Get him, yo. Get out of here. So they basically destroy the machine that, with the transwarp key that's going to get Unicron to come into their part of the universe, their space-time part of the universe, to destroy their planet. In the meantime, Mirage gets wrapped trying to save Noah.
I just want to say, we sound like you look like some real misogynists. We didn't even mention the girl.
You know what?
Who was basically the whole reason why they was able to find it anyway.
What was her name?
I do not remember. So
that's horrible.
So she works at Ellis Island, and she
Elena Wallace.
Elena worked at Ellis Island. She was an intern. It was hating on her because she was a young black girl. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, and she basically was the one that cracked the code and figured out that the relic that they had wasn't Egyptian or whatever they said, and to try to analyze it, and it cracked, and half of the transwarp key was in there. The other half of the key she figured out was in Peru because there were Peruvian markings. And they went to this little church thing and went below it. It wasn't there, and they found it somewhere else.
Yeah, they found it with the tribe.
Yeah, with the tribe.
Whatever. So yeah, I mean, yeah, but she did serve a purpose. Yeah, her boss was a hater, like using her to, because her specialty was verifying artifacts or whatever. She knew, and
she was an intern doing this.
Intern doing this or whatever. So so we get to the end of the movie, and this is where things kind of pick up for me, and I'm like, oh, so this is what we're gonna do here. So Noah's whole thing is he was trying to find a job, you know what I'm saying, so he can get money to help his brother to pay his bills for sickle cell and all this. And he got turned down at another place. And Noah
I'm sorry, they gave him a black disease.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me tell y'all something. Anybody that's watching this that's black, know that when by the time you're 3 years old, 2-3 years old, they start testing you for sickle cell. They take so much blood out of you and just start testing
very much African American.
Yeah, disorder. It's like they stop testing for it by the time you're like 8 or something.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail this. Go ahead.
No, you didn't. It's funny. So so he gets a job interview. He goes to like this plant or whatever they are to meet with the security guy, and he's like, "Hey man, blah 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 blah." He's like, "Look, man, yeah, I want to work with you, and we're hoping that some of your friends can help. We heard about what happened in Peru." And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He was like, "Yeah, we know about, saying you're big guys. We like your skill, and we want some of you and the big guys to come help or whatever." He says, "Oh, by the way, your brother will never have to worry about any type of, you know what I'm saying,
treatment or medicine.
Treatment. He got 24-hour treatment anytime he needs it." I said, boy, the government and their secret stuff is crazy as I don't know what. And then he was like, you should join us. He was like, "What do you mean, join us?" He was like, "Here's a card, man. Let us know if you're interested." And the first thing that made me pique my interest when he pulled down on the plaque on the wall, it said "Real American Hero" on the plaque.
I didn't even see that.
On the plaque, it said "Real American." It was like "Real American Hero." I said, wait. I was like, wait 1 minute.
Yo, because I thought it was N7. You know what I'm saying?
No, it said "Real American Hero." And I was like, wait a minute. And then he flipped the card over, and the card said G.I. Joe. They get offering my man a job to be a G.I. Joe. I'm gonna tell you why I love this. Not for what people think. Not because, oh my God, they bring a G.I. Joe and Transformers together. They can keep the Transformers movies going without Noah. Noah can transition over into G.I. Joe, and it seems like possibly his boy Toby Nigwe, he could be coming on over as a member of GI, because he could procure things, and he got the stuff to put Mirage back together and whatever. And he was like, "Hey man, that car ain't gonna start back, or come back on or whatever." And he was like, "Hey, Mirage, he said you ain't gonna come back on." And he transformed like, "Man, it feels good to be back." And he was like, "Yo." So, the fact that Hasbro is about to start the Hasbro universe is wild. And I really am interested to see how they're going to do this,
because they really did it in a very covert way, and which they should have did it like that last time, instead of trying to like really put a circle in a square peg. And I respect him for that. Like I feel like because I liked the last two G.I. Joe movies, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was pretty decent, especially the first one. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. I'm my interest is piqued. I hope they do a good job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I really do. And when they do this, granted, yes, there are certain G.I. Joe characters we all like and love. I hope they don't just become focused on those characters or whatever. Granted, I love Snake Eyes. Let's not make the whole G.I. Joe franchise be about Snake Eyes.
Nah, man. I just want to see Serpentor. But yeah, that is it. That is it for this episode, man. We appreciate you guys coming out.
You gonna leave me like that? Oh my God.
Next time, yo, we'll be back here, man. Next Monday with the very much sordid tale of the Flash, man. Yeah, I'm going to see this, yo. Like
as problematic as it is.
Yeah. My other boy does not know anything about none of this. So he said, "Man, I'm going to see this. I want to see it." I said, "Okay, we'll go together." So I'll see the Flash Friday, Saturday, and we'll talk about it Monday. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Also on the 21st, Secret Invasion. Be back. To the next time.
We see y'all.